Now we'd like to welcome William Peterson from the Mediterranean Anglo-American Business Network.
Je vous présente M. William Peterson qui nous fait l'honneur de venir de Marseille aujourd'hui. Il représente un réseau d'entreprises anglo-américaines de la Méditerranée et il a vraiment fait le déplacement pour nous. On le remercie chaleureusement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Four, and all of the rest of you for inviting me. It is a real pleasure to be here and to speak in English. And I'm speaking to you. There's 25 of you, 26? 26. I have a daughter who's going through the exact same program, and she took the exam this morning, and she took it yesterday. So believe me, I know what it is. It's a lot of work. Good job. Now, it's sometimes a mistake to give a microphone to a lawyer. But I will promise to respect my engagement. So 5 to, where she went? 7 minutes. Okay. I understand that this international section was created with the support of the U.S. Consulate. Consul Phil Richards was here last year. He couldn't be here now. He's now moved. He's in Tripoli. And actually his son is graduating today in Switzerland. So he kind of had a pretty large conflict. But he wanted me to say a few things, and very simply the following. Let me just quote him, that as you will be getting a lot of advice from many different persons for the years to come, professional careers, school, etc. There are certain persons that you should really listen to above all others. Your parents. I knew he would score a lot of points. As the co-chair of the business network that we created, we represent the American Chamber of Commerce, the British Chamber of Commerce in our region, and because of that seat, I meet professionals of all types working internationally. Doctors, lawyers, nurses, judges, arbitrators, engineers of all types, architects, accountants, scientists, athletes, coaches, experts, builders, financial consultants, professors, teachers, taxi drivers, company presidents, of course, financial directors, human resource directors, finance and legal directors, marketing, communications directors, tourism professionals of all types, real estate professionals, professionals in the film, video, television industry, musicians, artists, computer and internet professionals, definitely, diplomats, politicians, restaurant and hotel industry professionals. Did I forget some? When I started making this list, I was going to make a short list. But I realized that there are not many jobs where English speaking in France would be a real asset. Don't you agree? All of the above. You are simply very, very lucky. You have given yourselves an extremely important building block on which to construct your careers. I'm not saying you should stop here. Definitely not. Competition internationally is intense. But you have an advantage that many others do not have. Let me give you an example of an area that I know very well. I am in charge of an international litigation program at the LLM, which we call a Master's 2 here, at the Aix-Marseille University. And within that program, we have a team of students that brief both sides of a case study, and then they take it and argue it in Vienna against universities from all over the world. This year, there were 280 universities. We do it in the context of what's called an international arbitration. We use international conventions, rules, and laws that come from the International Commission at the United Nations. That's why the contest is in Vienna. And one of the best students I've ever had, but the best students I had this year, went through, and by the way, she's French, she was born and raised in France, went through the exact same program that you're going through now. She did well. She finished #1 in, now there are lots of preparatory competitions for this. We went to Edinburgh, and against English-speaking universities, she came out #1. So we're very happy. We know that this type of program works. At that level, to be able to write, argue, and research, you need to be at least bilingual. Knowing different languages, of course, helps you in researching, but it also helps you, and I'm glad Mr. Ford said this, in appreciating cultural differences, which becomes a very important thing for what we do. And when you're pleading, but I'm not just talking about pleading, this could be business meetings, presentations, convincing when you're in various situations where you need to convince. My fellow colleagues, coaches at the university, we've observed that when you have a high level of English already, you have the potential to do not just well, but extremely well. You are able to react and to improvise under pressure and kind of deviate from your text. Difficult to do when you don't have that instant grasp of the language. Now that you're finishing, don't forget that English is just a tool to communicate. It allows you to explore cultural aspects of other countries and English-speaking countries. So keep reading the novels, the thrillers, go to the movies, the museums. Great museum that opened in Marseille yesterday. And my wife's there tonight. Don't forget, you built this language level up, keep it up. Now I see that you've also had some fun. One of your colleagues sent me the PowerPoint of the trip that you made to the United States. So I see that it's been work and fun. You're very lucky. I wish I would have had a chance to do something like that. But that leads me to my last point. Little piece of advice for me. And this is something for my American friends and colleagues here that is really ingrained in our culture. It's especially ingrained in the Australian culture, and that is, don't forget that if you have a chance to see the world before you start your professional career, do not hesitate and do it. You never really have a chance to do it again. Once you start working, that's kind of it. It's over. And for a lot of us, it has turned out to be a life-changing experience, so highly recommend it. With all that in mind, for me and Phil Richards, congratulations.